Have you ever had something happen with Parkinson's that's so weird, so random, and so hard to explain that you didn't even tell anybody? And not because it didn't matter, but because it sounded too strange to be real. Well, today is part two of Who Knew Week, and I've got four more Parkinson's discoveries hiding in plain sight. And the last one? The last one is the kind of thing that if it's ever happened to you, you probably sat there and thought, what the heck was that? So stay tuned right till the very end because I have a feeling the last reveal is going to hit a whole lot of people. And it's going to have you saying, wait, that's Parkinson's too? Who knew?
Welcome to Living with Parkinsons. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
All right, well, welcome back to Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community. And if you're new here, my name is Bryce, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's at the age of 40, and I've been living with it now for over 15 years. And yes, this is Who Knew Week around here, so part one was last episode, and today is part two. Because apparently, Parkinson's had enough weirdness left over for another episode. And again, these are not the big, obvious textbook things. These are the sneaky ones, the things that don't always sound important enough to bring up, but can absolutely affect how you feel, how you function, and how you move through your day. So as we go, if one of these makes you stop and say, wait, what? Then drop a hashtag who knew in the comments. I love seeing those. And I've got four more for you today, four more. And every one of them has a little reveal. So let's just get right into it. And here is number one. Now, this one is subtle, really subtle, because it doesn't always show up as big as some big dramatic symptom. It shows up more like this. Something should matter to you. And logically, you know that it matters, but it doesn't land the way it used to. Or maybe something small happens and your brain grabs onto it like it's way more important than it should be. So now you're in this weird place where some things feel flatter than they should and other things feel louder than they should. And if you don't know what's going on, you start blaming yourself. Why did I react more? Why did that hit me so hard? And why do I know this matters, but it just doesn't feel the same anymore? And this is where this one gets really interesting. Because dopamine doesn't just help with movement. It also helps your brain decide what gets highlighted, what matters, what gets your attention, what feels urgent, and what feels rewarding enough to care about. Think of it like your brain walking around with a little highlighter, right? This matters. Nah, that doesn't. Pay attention here. Skip that. And when the dopamine systems change, the highlighter gets, well, it gets patchy. Now, your brain isn't tagging experiences the same way it used to. So something really important may not feel as important, or something really small may suddenly feel way too big. And the reveal? Parkinson's can affect how your brain tags experiences as important. Yeah. Now that one's sneaky. Like who knew that? And once you hear it, a lot of things start to make a little more sense. Because people don't usually say, hey, I think today my importance tagging feels off, right? They say, I don't know, things just don't hit me the same. Or, why did I react like that? Or, why do I know this matters, but I don't really care? That's this. And honestly, this one matters because it takes something that feels really personal and it gives it context. No, not excuse, context. And that can soften a lot of self-judgment. Well, there you go. Well, if that one hits you, drop important or hashtag who knew in the comments. All right, moving on to number two. Now, this one messes with the feelings of finishing something. And that can be really maddening. Okay? You ever finish something and you not actually feel like you finished it? And not because you didn't. You did. You finished it. It's done. The email got sent. The dishes got put away. The task is over. And yet your brain does not give you that clean little internal tick off, right? It doesn't scratch it off the list. Okay, done. Instead, it feels weirdly unfinished. Like the task ended, but your brain didn't sign the paperwork. And if you've had that, you know how frustrating that is because it can make you feel scattered. It can make you jump too quickly to the next thing. Or it can leave you sitting there with this strange sense that something just didn't fully land. And again, if you don't understand Parkinson's, you blame yourself. You think, why can't I just move on? Why doesn't this feel complete? Why do I feel mentally attached to something that I already did? Well, here's why. Dopamine is deeply tied into reward, reinforcement, and the sense of closure that comes with an action. So when dopamine systems shift, the brain's completion signal can get really weird. Think of it like checking a box on a form. You know, you checked it, you watch yourself check it, but somehow the form still looks unfinished. That's the one. The action happened. The brain just didn't give you that same satisfying stamp of complete. So the reveal, yes, Parkinson's can change how your brain experiences completion. Who knew? Now that one's a mind bender because people think Parkinson's is about tremors and slowness and stiffness. It is, but meanwhile, your brain is over here struggling with this emotional receipt. And I think that matters because, again, this is one of those things that people feel and yet don't know how to describe. Again, they don't say, my completion circuitry is off. They say, I don't know why I don't feel satisfied, or I don't know why I can't settle. I finished it, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel complete. That's the language. And once you give people the language, everything gets a little less lonely. So there you go. How about that one? If that one hit, drop completion or who knew in the comments. And that one really hit me because I feel that way. I feel like I've finished my task and I've completed it. And I'm supposed to feel this sense of like, I did it. And it just doesn't feel satisfying. That's how I describe it. Okay. Now, just before we get to number 3, just quickly, this is exactly why I love doing these episodes because the weirdest part of Parkinson's are often the ones that that just don't sound important enough to bring up. And then you hear somebody else say it out loud, and then you'll suddenly realize you go, wait a second, hey, wait a minute. That's me. That's me. And it's not just me. And that's powerful. So if you want more of this kind of real talk and real Parkinson's conversation, well, join in the club. The club is here. The link is in the description below and come be a part of it because Parkinson's is just confusing enough without trying to decode every weird little thing by yourself. Okay, so come join us. It's free. Get in. Okay, number 3. And this one is sneaky in a totally different way because it changes strategy without telling you. All right, here we go. Now, this one is something that most people don't notice all at once. This one sneaks in quietly. You don't wake up one day and think, I now trust my eyes more than my body. No, it's subtler than that. It starts looking more like this. You look down more when you walk. You feel a little less steady in the dark. You move better when you can see what you're doing. Or you feel more uncertain when you can't. And you think you're just being cautious. You think you're just being smart. And maybe you are. Maybe you are. But there is maybe more going on here than that. Because Parkinson's can affect proprioception, your body's internal sense of where it is in space. In other words, the feeling system that lets you know where your limbs are, how big your movement is, and where your body is without constantly needing to look. So when that system gets less reliable, the brain does something clever. It changes strategy. It starts leaning harder on your vision. Think of it like this. Your body used to have an internal GPS, and that signal now has gotten fuzzy because of Parkinson's. So your brain opens up Google Map and starts double checking everything with your eyes. That's this one. The reveal? Yeah, your brain relies more on vision than feeling without you realizing it. Now, this one is fascinating because people often think it's just anxiety or you're just being cautious now that you have Parkinson's, but maybe it's not. Maybe your brain quietly changed the way it gathers confidence. And that's a very different story. And honestly, I think this one is huge because it explains why things can feel harder in the dark or in tight spaces or anytime you cannot visually confirm what your body's doing. That is not just being careful, that may be your brain adapting. So, looking down at your feet as you walk, your brain is adapting to get a visual look at what your feet are doing because the feeling and the senses are not there. Hmm. How about that? Who knew? Who knew? I thought I was just being cautious. I was just checking myself out, making sure I was doing the things I was supposed to be doing. And here my brain is adapting because that's how it's now getting its information from my eyes. So if that one hits you, drop vision or hashtag who knew in the comments. Okay, here we go. This last one. This is the weird physical one. And if this ever happened to you, I'm telling you right now, you probably did not go around telling people about it because it just sounds bizarre. And I'm going to tell you exactly what it is right after Carmen's Care Partner Corner. Yeah, I know. I did it again, but this is important. So, without further ado, it's now time for Carmen's Care Partner Corner. And here's what Carmen wrote for me to read to you today. Sometimes the changes Parkinson's causes don't look dramatic at all. They can look like hesitation. They can look like somebody not reacting the way you expected, or finishing something but still seems unsettled afterwards. It can look like they're distracted, disconnected, or not paying attention, when really their brain may just be processing the moment differently than it used to. And that's what makes this part so tricky for care partners, because what we see on the outside doesn't always match what's happening on the inside. One thing I've learned is to pause before I assign meaning to the behavior. Instead of assuming Bryce is frustrated, uninterested, or just not listening to me, I try to ask a softer question first. Something like, are you okay? Did that feel different to you? And that opens the door without putting him on the defensive. And here's one small tip for care partners. If something seems off, don't rush to correct it right away. Give it a second. Give it the moment, right? Give it the moment a little room. Sometimes that extra pause is all it takes for the person with Parkinson's to find their footing again, whether that's physically, mentally, or emotionally. And believe me, they are going to feel much better if they find their footing without you prompting. There you go. Well, right there. That's exactly this next one. Thank you, Carmen, by the way. And give Carmen give this episode a like if you don't mind. Hit the like button and spread this around so other people can find this information on Parkinson's. But that is exactly this one because it sounds strange enough that most people would never or would never tell anybody and keep it to themselves until somebody says it out loud. And that's going to be me. So here you go. Number 4. All right. Weird, like really weird. And it has that exact stuck yawn energy, right? Where you hear it go, no, come on, that can't be a thing. Except it can. Now imagine this. Your eyes, okay? You close your eyes for a second. No big deal. You blink, you squeeze them shut, you rest them for a moment. And then when you go to open them again, your eyelids act like they did not get the memo. Not because you're tired, not because your eyes are dry, and not because you forgot how eyes work. They just don't want to open properly. Or it feels effortful, right? Or delayed, or weirdly stuck. And if it's happened to you, I guarantee you it felt unnerving because it's your eyes, right? That gets your attention real fast. Now, here's the why. There is a real movement disorder phenomenon in this territory, and it's called expressia of eyelid opening. And it's related to eyelid dystonia, like blepharospasm. It can show up as difficulty initiating the act of opening eyes, even though the muscles themselves are not weak or paralyzed. It's thought to involve disrupted brain network. okay, that coordinate voluntary eyelid movement. And it has been reported with Parkinson's and other disorders. People may compensate by lifting their eyelids with their fingers or raising their eyebrows or even throwing their head back to help the eyes open. Been there? Think of it like this. Your brain sends the command, okay, eyes open. And somewhere between the message and the action, the system stalls. That's this one. That's this one. So Parkinson's can make it weirdly hard to open your eyes. Yep. Even that. Who knew? And this one hits hard because it's such a basic thing, right? You don't think about opening your eyes until suddenly you have to. And once you do, it's hard to unthink it. So there you go. Has that one ever happened to you? Even once, even subtly? Drop eyes or hashtag who knew in the comments, because I promise you, if it's happened to you, you are not alone and you are not the only one. Not even close. Wow. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. You know, when I first heard that one, I thought, no, that has to happen to me. And as I started thinking about it, it was like, oh yeah, there's been times I just have to put my head back and just like, oh, rub my eyes and kind of flip them open. Done it. Been there. Wow. Who knew? I love these. I love these Who News. I can't wait for next month's. Anyway, you've made it this far. Here is your Bryce-ism of the episode. With Parkinson's, apparently even your brain's good enough department has started freelancing. And that is very reassuring. Not. All right, which one hit you the hardest? The importance one, the completion one, the vision one, or the eyelid one? Let me know in the comments. You know what? I read every single one. And if this episode made you stop and go, wait a minute, nobody ever told me that, share it. Share this episode with somebody or your support group, because somebody else out there may be quietly wondering about one of these weird little things and thinking that they're the only one. And they're not. And that wraps up the Who Knew week for this month. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'll be back with these next month again with another round. But until next time, I want you to keep showing up. I want you to keep being real. And I want you to keep doing life today. I love you, and I will see you on the next episode. Who knew?
Parkinson's may be part of your life, but it doesn't get to define it. Thanks for listening to Living with Parkinson's. The good, the bad, and the reality. If this episode moved you, helped you, or reminded you you're not alone, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Want to go deeper? The Inner Circle is waiting. Monthly Zoom calls, 24/7 community, and a direct line to Bryce. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up and keep doing life today.